Good morning, Eve. This is Miss Tracy. So I'm going to show you how, to do these problems. This is from lesson 113. You're going to have to use your scientific calculator. There's no getting around that. So what we've got to do is use the ln key to express each power or each number as a power, and it will be as a power of the EX, all right? This goes with this one, this goes with this one. So to make the power, we press this button. To undo the power, we press this one. So we're going to make the power of E using this. So what we're going to do is we're going to type in the first number. Let me clear this. 0.000612, press the ln key. So this is the exponent that we are going to use to solve this. So we're going to round this to 2 places, which would be negative 7.4. Okay, so that would be over here, E. Oops, let me get my pen. I don't have my pen. That would be E to the negative 7.4. And we'll just go ahead and do 7.40. That's the first number. Second number, we do the same thing. See how easy that is? All right, 576, press the ln key. So that's going to be, oh, sorry, I am making videos, and I'm doing the last one. Let me go ahead and save that, and then I can come back. It always interrupts me. Okay, now we're back. So now let me get my calculator. So that would be E. We're going to round this to 36 because that would round that up. So it'd be E to 6.36. So E 6.36. All right, so we see we have that. Now we're going to do the bottom the same way. So in order to do the bottom, we are just going to do ln and then this number in parentheses, okay? So if it makes you feel better, this would be a really long decimal, right? So let's put this in the right format first. So if I move this back to, this would be minus 2, so it'd be 5.12 times 10 to the negative 16, and that's where we're going to put the ln key on. So let me see. I've got to do parenthesis and then 5.12, and then that is going to be times 10 to the 16th negative power. Okay, so there we go, 5.12 e to the negative 16, and I'm going to press the ln key, and that gives me negative 35.21. So that goes over E to the negative 35.21. That's our answer. Now we're just going to use the rules of exponents to find what that answer is. So when we multiply with same base, we add the exponents, right? So that's going to equal E, and we're going to find, we've got 7.4 negative plus 6.36 is going to be a negative 1.04. So negative 1.04 over E to the negative 35.21. Now when we bring this to the top to solve, because they're the same base, then this becomes a positive 35.21, right? So our answer is going to be E, and then we're going to do negative 1.04 plus 35.21 is 34.17. So E to the 34.17. That is your answer. Now, we're going to convert that to scientific notation by converting it to an answer. So if you've got 34.17, you want to convert it back to a number, you're undoing it, you hit this button right here. Crazy, huh? That's a big old number. So what we're going to do is we're going to round this to 2 places up here. We're going to put it in scientific notation because it's way too big to do otherwise. So that'd be 6.92. So that would equal 6.92 times 10 to something. Let's see what that something is, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And that's the right answer. That's it. This is our final answer. So the first answer, I think, asked you to do that. Let me go back to Jupiter and see. I think I would take either one. Let me double check that. E, and we said that was to the 34.17. So 34.17. Let's see if it'll take that answer. No. So let's do the other 6.92. And then that would be times 10 to the 14. It didn't like that one either. That's what I have, 7.92 times 10 to the 14. So apparently I must have typed it in wrong somehow. So we'll see. We'll see what I did. I don't know how else I could put that in there. So if you were to put that in, it's probably just not accepting the math. So let me check it and see. Rekey. No, it's accepting the math. It's accepting this. Let me retype it just to make sure, because I want students to be able to take that. 6.9. Oops. 6.92 times 10 to the 14. Okay. And I'm also going to, no, we're going to leave that like that. Should I do that? I think I will. And that was 34.17. 34.17. So I'll take either one as an answer. That'll be fine. All right. So either one of those is acceptable answers, because I don't say put it back into scientific notation, so you might not know to do that. So you might just put that in there. So let's go back over here to preview. Oh, for heaven's sakes. All right, that was 113. There we go. All right, so let's just do E 34.17. Yeah, and it takes that. So just do that one. All right, and then I'm going to find the other. All right, so the number of rabbits increased exponentially. Now, I cannot seem to find this in the textbook. It could just be because I'm blind and haven't had enough coffee yet. So let's see if we can just go ahead and solve it without having to have the solution, which would be great. At first there were 400, so that's our original amount. So we know that we're going to use A over time equals the original amount, the rate times the time, right? Or rate to the power of the time. So the amount, we're looking for the amount at the end of 10 years. The amount in 10 years would equal the original amount. Actually, let me take that back. I'm getting ahead of myself. We're looking for the constant and the time. I think. No, that's right. No, okay. I've got to, let me just erase this. Let me look back in the book, because that is for, I think that is for compound interest. Let me look at lesson 115 in the book and double check that I am doing that right for exponential growth. Okay, it's slightly different. It's slightly different. It is the amount over time is equal to the original amount, EKT. That's what we're looking for. That is what the so we are looking for that base of E there it is the practice problem for 115. So I just didn't look back far enough. So now I've got it. Okay. All right, so this is the formula that we're going to use. I was using the compound interest formula, which is a little bit different. When you're using objects that don't have decimal places, you use this one. So at the end of 3 years, there's 1,600. So that's going to be our amount over time is 1,600. And then how many rabbits, that would be in the next scenario once we figure out what our rate is. And our rate is K. Our constant is K. So at first there were 400, E, and then K, and then the time is 3 years. So 3 years later there were 1,600. That's where we get that 3 from and the 1,600 from. And at first there were 400 is where this comes from. So we're going to, first of all, solve for what we know we can solve. So we're going to divide both sides by 400 because that's the first factor that we know we can do something with. 1,600 divided by 400 is 4. And so that's going to cancel that. So we have E with a constant times 3. All right, so we're going to take this 4 and we're going to make it have the base of E so that we can have some similarity between the two so we can do something, right? So we're going to clear this and say 4, press the ln key, and that says that we've got 1.39. So E to the 1.39 is equal to E K3. That allows us to cancel the base. We divide both sides by the base. So we factor those out. We basically do this right here, right? So we factor those out. So then that gives us 1.39 is equal to 3 times K. Divide both sides by 3. 1.39, we pull that up. 1.39 divided by 3 is 0.46 with a 3 repeating. We're just going to do 0.46 is the rate of K. We're going to just round it to 2 decimal places. Now that we know what K is, we can figure out how many there's going to be at the end of 10 years. So the amount in 10 years is equal to 400 times E with a rate of 0.46 and then in 10 years. All right. So now we can do this multiplication. When we multiply these two powers, we just move the decimal place over 1. So that's A, the amount in 10 years is equal to 400 times E to the 4.6 power. So now we get E to the 4.6 power. And the way we undo that, we take 4.6 and we hit the EX button. And that gives us 99.48. We round it to 2 places, which is what we typically do. We would say 400 times that number. So the amount in 10 years is equal to 400 times 99.48. So the amount in 10 years is equal to, now we just multiply, 400 times, sorry, that should be 99.48. 99.48. 39,792. That's how you do those. Okay. This is the formula we use. This is one value. Then this is your time. And that should be the same thing that goes here, right? So 400, 3, and then this is actually this value right here. This is your amount over time in the first problem. This is your original amount in the first problem. This is your t in the first problem. And we drop those in, right? Okay. So let's do, I think that's the only one like that you had. You had one more with the ln key. And it solved exactly the same way that we did this one down here. All we have to do is type it in and hit the ln key. So let's start. 0.000374. ln key gives us the e base of negative 7.89. So the e base, negative 7.89, is the first number. Now let's do the second number. 485 ln key. It's an e base of 6.18. So e base of 6.18. Now we do the bottom. In order to the bottom, I'm going to put that in the standard notation. So that's correct. So 1, 2. So that's going to be minus 2. 6.18 times 10 to the negative 18. So now I'm going to put that in my calculator. Right, so 6, let me use parentheses just to make sure. 6.18 times 10 with a power of 18 negative. Okay, so there's that. That's that e, that's that times 10 to the negative 18. So 6.18 e to the negative 18, that's this. And now we're going to hit our ln key. So negative 39.63, because I'm rounding it to two places. So e, negative 39.63, is that what I said? Yeah. And my book agrees also. So now we're just going to, again, add these together, because multiplying the same base, you're going to add the exponents. So that's going to equal e. Let me do some calculations here on my calculator. That's what the calculator's for. It's for calculations. So 7.89 negative plus 6.18 is negative 1.71. So negative 1.71. And then we have e to the negative 39.63. So when we take this to the top, this becomes positive 39.63. So that gives us negative 1.71 plus 39.63 is e to the 37.92. And if we want to find out what that value is, we hit the EX to turn it back into a number. And we get 2.94 to the 16th power. So 2.94 times 10 to the 16th power. That would be our answer. Let me find it and see which way the solution takes it. All right, so it wants it as both. So in the first answer with E as the base, and the second answer in scientific notation. So with E as the base, we had 37.92. So E to the 37.92 power. And then we had in scientific notation 2.94 times 10. So 2.94 times 10 to the what power? 16th power. And it still does not want to take scientific notation. I don't know why. Let me try multiplication like this. See if it'll take that. Still doesn't want it. 2.94. Okay. All right, let me see what's going on. That's exactly what, oh my goodness, that's exactly what it is. So when it comes up like that, just know that I will take it. I'll look at it. Let me know, like take a screenshot and say, Miss Tracy, it's not taking this. I know it's right because it gave me the answer. So I will go in there and manually mark it right. I don't know what the deal is with that. All right, so let me go in here and I guess that's all. I'm gonna fix this. Let me rekey. I'm just gonna retype it the way that I have it typed. So I think maybe the problem is that it needs the Algebra 2 keyboard. Let's save that. Let's go back in here. Now, sorry that, oh, whatever. Trying to get this right for you guys. I don't want you to have to suffer. So let's go back in here. Where's it at? There it is. All right, so we'll try this again. E to the 37.92. E to the 37.92. And then we had 2.94 to the 16th power. 2.94. It's still not giving me the right one. So it's probably not going to. I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Times 10 to the 16th power. Whatever. I know it's right. You know it's right. Just send me that screenshot. Okay. So that I know that you did it right. Whenever you have a situation like that, I'm going to try my best to get this to mark it right. So let me do that again. Rekey. It's not deleted, goofball. Keyboard, Algebra 2. 2.94 times 10 to the 16th power. That's what we want. All right, so let's click done. Now let's do it again. See all the fun times I have making sure stuff works for you guys. Jupiter's, it's just weird. All right, we know this one works. 37.92. And this was 2.94. It's still not giving you the right one. Fine. Times 10 to the 16th power. Finally. Okay. So it should take it now. If you have any problems, please let me know. That should be all you need to do. All right. Dunsies. I hope that solves all your problems. If you have struggles like this where you see the answer pop up, you know it's right. I'm trying to go ahead and give you guys the answer solutions, and we've talked about this before, so that you can see. So when you see that you got the right answer and you're just not taking it, send me a screenshot so I can do this and fix it, because it does take a little bit of finagling to try to figure out what I need to do. But if you let me know, then I can fix it for future generations of Jupiter users. All right, sweetheart, I will see you on Thursday.